Welcome to Mercy Minutes, our video pilgrimage, the Jubilee Year of Mercy. I'm here with Father Higgins, and we're going to talk about prison ministry, because this month's theme is the corporal work of mercy, visit the imprisoned, or ransom the captive, as it's traditionally said. Father Higgins, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do?
My title is Vicar for Prisons for the Diocese of Charleston, and then on weekends I have two parishes, St. John of the Cross in Batesburg, Leesville, and St. William's in Ward.
Okay. Can you tell me a bit about your experience, particularly with prison ministry?
My experience with prison ministry goes back to 1993 when I was in seminary in Christ the King Seminary in East Aurora, New York, just outside of Buffalo. One of the things that seminarians do is a pastoral work, and so I was assigned to work with a Sister Karen Klimzak, who ran a halfway house for prisoners in New York State. New York State has where someone has to go to a halfway house for 30 days before they can be released into the general population. So that began my prison ministry, and I would go and visit all of the prisons in the upstate New York area and interview inmates, our brothers and sisters, to see if they would qualify to come into the program.
Why is prison ministry? Why is ministering to those who are incarcerated an important part of our Christian life?
It offers hope. That's the main thing: faith, hope, and love. And so it gives us a chance to offer hope to them, because many of these our brothers and sisters are incarcerated for a very long time, and if they have no hope, if they give up hope, then really life is useless. There's a term used in all institutions, whether those institutions be seminaries or prisons or hospitals. Either you do the time or the time does you. And if the time does you, it breaks you. So we help them to do the time by trying a form of conversion, helping them to change their lives and have hope that they will be reintegrated into society and be productive members of society, contributing to the betterment of humanity. And it's just it's amazing to go into a facility and these big, bulky, heavily tattooed, mean-looking men, and by the end of the weekend they're just total transformation, much like Paul and his conversion, where they get it. They see that they're loved. They see that that they have dignity, that they have value, and that God and society can forgive them.
What's it like seeing that type of conversion?
It's a shock at first, and we can be cynical and say, is it authentic? Is it real? I think the good part of it is seeing when it continues. I want to maybe make the analogy of a convert who comes into a neophyte who comes into the church. They're full of vim and vigor at first, but it's how they live that out. Does it peter out? Does it die out? Or do they then begin to put the substance behind it, and not just the words, but the works as well, and to see people change? You would see their rap sheets, and you could very easily judge them and say they're disposable, they're despicable. But to be able to look at that, regardless of how heinous the crime is, and to say, I love you, I forgive you, I don't judge you, takes a while. It takes a while. It's a process. So if someone were interested in getting involved, which I would hope they would be, we would grow our ministry. I would say to first pray over it, and then maybe baby steps, slowly. You don't go straight into a maximum security prison, starting off and really analyzing what is it in them that makes them think that they want to do this. Again, going back to your first question is as well, realizing that we're all prisoners, prisoners of maybe our own addictions, prisoners of our body, prisoners of our minds, our emotions, our psychology. And can I relate to that? Can I relate? Do I have a good sense of forgiveness? It's not just the penal, how we're going to punish them, but offering love.
How has doing prison ministry changed you? How's it changed your life? How's it affected you?
Um, Probably the most I would have to say is made me aware of myself as a sinner, as a human being. Many of our brothers and sisters that I visit, I can't help but walk away, and they're very sad stories sometimes, but I can't help but walk away and say, there, but for the grace of God go I. How come them and not me? One of the things I would add, in this year of mercy, we have the doors of mercy, and so if you go on the Vatican webpage, you'll see that the Holy Father has promoted it as well. So this is something that could be very appropriate for prisons, for institutions, and so I've told some of our teams that yes, take some holy water with you. We're not trying to circumvent the priest who's going, but you can take some holy water and say some prayers, and that door may be the door to the chapel, or that door may be the door to their cell, and make that the door of mercy. We're on this journey to enter through that door and receive.
Yeah, what the Holy Father said was, and this kind of tells us a little bit about what this whole idea of the year of mercy is, and this idea of pilgrimage that is moving our hearts, because he mentions that that for a prisoner that every time they cross the threshold of their cell, you know, they can remember that they're entering into God's mercy. A powerful thing to transform the bars of a prison to the arms of Christ. And in a lot of ways, I think that's what you do in prison ministry.
We try.
So thank you, Father Higgins.
You're welcome.
And thank you for joining us once again. And God bless all of you, and join us again next time.